Well, hello. Welcome. It's Ashley with Paint It Up. And we're going to work on this month's craft kit. And it's so cute. Welcome to the replay. If you're interested in getting a craft kit, type Crafty2 and it'll send you all the information so you can get one each month. It's a new craft kit that comes out every month and they're always adorable. They're designed by me. You can't get them anywhere else, okay? So, and this month's little kit is so cute. It's a little shelf sitter. It's a little apple basket. It's cute, isn't it? And I designed this myself. I'm trying to branch out, honey. Okay, the good thing about these are they're layered. So, I got a little piece on here I need to sand off. Hold on. They're layered, so it is really easy. You don't have a whole lot to paint. I had a little rough spot right there. Because all of this is pretty much like just, I don't need these to be painted because it's layered, okay? So I'm gonna lay the pieces that I do need to paint to the side, and I'm gonna go ahead and glue these together so they can be setting up while we paint, okay? My glue, I always have a layer of glue stuck on the top of it. But yeah, this one's a cute one. I don't know. I know it's not quite like apple season yet, but you know what? We're going with some apples because it's like, you know, when you go to the store now, you can't even enjoy the summer, the rest of the summer, because these jokers has done got, they done got some fall stuff out. They are putting out Christmas stuff. I don't know what. I mean, you know, it's crazy town. Crazy town. Sorry, I'm trying to get this hunk of glue out of there. Okay. So I'm just going to put these together and let them sit to the side while we paint the actual, like, kit. Just a little bit of glue. All right, we're just gonna let that sit over here for a minute, like so. And actually, I could go ahead and just glue this down on there too. Let's just go ahead and do that. And then I can just paint it while it's glued on there. I think that'll be the easiest way. Biggest thing is I just have to we just have to make sure that it's flush, because if it's not, then it's not gonna lay right. So, all right, so what I'm doing is I'm just putting my apples and everything on there, so it's 3 layers thick, okay? And I just went ahead and put my apples on there, and I'm just gonna let that just sit up for a second. I'm gonna work on the basket part and everything. Okay. Biggest thing is I just want to make sure it's flush, because I don't want my apples not sitting right and it falling over. Because if you want it to sit up by itself, it's got to be like that. Okay. All right. So let's lay that to the side for a second. We'll come back to the apples. Normally you could glue it on later, but I just went ahead and glued it on. I'm gonna do a coat on this. This is the piece on the basket that's gonna like lay over the top of it. And then I'm gonna paint this a dark brown, then this a lighter brown, I think. And then I'm gonna do my bow. Let's see, maybe like black and white check would be cute with the gingham's coming back, or blue. Maybe like an I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to do a variety of apples. I'm going to do some red apples, some green apples. Let me get some brown paint. Where's my brown paint at? Look, I got stuff everywhere over here, y'all. When I tell you everywhere, I mean everywhere. All right, so I'm going to use like 2 different shades of red. I think I want to do like a darker red and then a lighter red. I'm out of brown, so I got to get some new brown over here. Sorry. Digging for paint. Okay. I didn't realize I was out of brown over here. I'm gonna do like a chocolate brown and then like layer like a lighter brown over the top of it. I think anyways. All right. All right. I'm not gonna worry about painting where the bow is because it is literally gonna be covered up. So I'm not like stressing over that. And this is going over the majority of it, but I'm just gonna paint the whole thing so that it shows that dark through. Because I don't want to have to try and figure out where to paint and where not to paint. I'm just going to paint it all. And we'll have it all colored. This would be a cute one for teachers too, just because it's a little basket of apples for fall. I love going to the apple orchard. I love it. I love Granny Smith. Granny Smith are my favorite apples. I mean, I'll eat the other ones, but I like Granny Smith the best. This is just not gluing together. It ain't liking me right now. And I'm gonna paint the handle up here. And I actually could have did this like a stain. So like, just say for instance, I'm like, you know, I really would like this to look sort of like a stained sort of look. I could take a rag and sort of wipe off some of the excess to let that wood show through. And I think I like that. I might do that. And it just gives it like a good like stained look so you can kind of see it. Just looks kind of stained. Okay. And then for this, I want to do it just like a lighter shade of brown to go over the top of it. So I'm going to mix a little white and brown together. And I'll do the same thing. I'll kind of like, I love a little chunky, I know I do tons of little chunky shelf sitters, but I just love them because they're really cute. And I don't like using the stands. I think the stand, no offense, but I don't know. I just like actually making them chunky. I know it uses more wood, but I just like the look of it better than using like a little cutting a stand for it. Just makes them a little bit more substantial. All right, so I'm actually gonna dip in some water and rub over the top of it too. And then I'm gonna take my rag and just wipe off the excess. I'm gonna come back and dry brush this too. But so when I lay it over the top, it's just a little bit lighter to make my like basket look, okay? And that's what I was going for. All right, so I want to paint my apples. So let's do, I like this. This is actually called cherry cobbler, but we're gonna use it as a, we're gonna use it for apple. I'm gonna do some green apples and red apples. I'm gonna use just a couple different shades of red. Okay. Let's see. Let's do, I need a little bit of green. I'm actually gonna use just a little bit of yellow too. Just kind of mix it up. Okay. So let's take the, let's do like a red apple here. And I'll come back and paint the stems. That's gonna be a red with like that cherry cobbler color. And I'm gonna just let that be like that. Okay. And then I'll do another one of these red ones back here. I'll just kind of skip around. Okay. Then I'm going to use this red to do like a red one here. And then maybe here. I'm just going over the top of the stems. I'm not really worried about if I get a little bit of paint on the stem because I'm going to come back and touch it up anyway, so it's fine. All right, I need to do one more red because I'm going to do 2 green. So I think I want to do that one a green and then this back one. So I'm going to do one more red. I'll do this one right here red. Alright, and I'm going on top of this. This is actually a separate piece, but I went ahead and just glued it down. It actually is a separate piece that comes apart. I was going to try to pull it off, but it looks like my glue is finally sticking. Yay. Alright, let's do the green. I want it to be more like a yellow green. Hey, Jennifer. I'm going to use like a tart green for like a Granny Smith. And I have some leaves, so I'll do the leaves more of a darker color. This actually might be too green. It's kind of a bright green, but it's cute. I remember when I used to decorate, I used to have apples in a kitchen in my first house. I had like fruit and apples, and that was the thing, man. But they're coming back. All that kind of stuff is coming back now, which is kind of crazy, but it always just comes back around. You know, you hold on to stuff long enough, it comes back in style. Okay, so this is like all of my apples painted in. It's kind of hard to tell, but they are a different color. Like the 2 reds are a different color. Doesn't really translate that well in person. So maybe when I do it a little bit darker, I might actually make one of them like a little bit more orangey. I think I might do that. Let me use a little bit of this yellow in with this brighter red and make it more of like an orangey color. I think that might look better, actually. Yeah. Because I'm wanting the colors to be different. Like, I don't want them to all be like the same. So I want the apple harvest to have lots of different colors. Okay, and then I did this one. And I'll come in and add like a little bit of distressing on them later. But for now, I'm just trying to get them painted in and add those different shades of color. Okay. So I need to do like just a regular green, not a lime green, like a green for like the leaves. I might actually add a little bit of brown to it just to darken them up a little bit. So I'm going to darken those up with, and then I'll do my leaves over here. There's one. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. All the details are what make these kind of come together. Once you get them painted in, adding all the little cute little details to it. I might use a brown paint pen to do the stems. Actually, that needs to be like brown to match the inside of the book basket. Okay, so let me turn it around so you can kind of see. I'm good. How are you? Yep, those wide leg jeans, they came back. You know, it never fails. It's the way it happens. I mean, it's kind of like, I still like my skinny jeans. I mean, I kind of I like both, but I ain't gonna lie. I like them skinny jeans. They wasn't nothing wrong with them skinny jeans, okay? And the ones that had a little stretch in them, they were perfect. So, all right, so let's let that sit for just a second. And I think I need to put a little bit more glue on that. For some reason, my glue's not liking me today. I keep messing with it. Keep moving it around. I'll get it together. There we go. Okay. All right, so what color do I want to do this bow? I feel like it needs like a contrasting color. Maybe like a teal or turquoisey color, maybe. I don't know, I kind of like the red and black, like checked gingham. I think that would be cute. That's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. Let's dry. Let me blow dry this. Because I don't want it to just be like basic colors, okay? I don't want it to be just blobs of color. I want it to be, have some dimension to it, okay? So this will actually go on top of this, and we'll add a little bit of dimension to it too. I'm gonna dry brush this before I actually glue this down. But let's paint the, I'll lay that to the side. Let's paint this white with, and then I'm gonna come in with like a black paint pen and do like a little check on it, or stripe or something. That gingham's coming back. And I read something the other day that said chevron was coming back. Please don't bring chevron back, y'all. Please don't. Like, remember when chevron clothes were like the thing and everybody had that dress or those pants that were like chevron? Oh, mercy. No offense to anybody that loved the chevron, but I mean, I had some stuff, but it was just never like my thing. I never really liked it when it was popular, so. But I remember doing paint classes with chevron. I even bought like chevron tape that was for people to like tape off stuff, and yeah, they had frog tape that was chevron. They sure did. And I bought it constantly because people loved it when they wanted to do their chevron stuff. Hey, Sherry. Hope you're having a good day. All right, so we got white on that. And let's take my brown paint pen and do the stems right quick. So I'm just going to go in and paint the stems brown, and I'll come back and add a little texture to them later. That already made them look better to have some stems, but I do need to add like some extra like stuff. Yay! Watching your book stack. Hey, Keisha. I can't wait to see that book stack that you did. Okay. I'm gonna do another coat of green on these leaves because they need it. Okay. I feel like that is like sitting kind of wonky, but I always cut this as like my prototype, so I always have to make adjustments after I cut it. I'm like, yeah, that's not right, or that looks weird. So all right, lay that to the side. All I did was just put a second coat on the leaves. We're gonna let that dry for just a second. I'm gonna add some distressing on this. So I want like a wispy brush. So let me grab one of my like wispy little brushes here. And I think, do I want to do black or, I don't know. Let me see. I kind of feel like I want to do black. Let's just see. I'm just going to use like a dry brush, maybe a darker brown. Mix a little brown in there with it. All right, so I'm going to come in and just sort of white this with a little bit of black. Make it look kind of weathered, if you can kind of tell that. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but, and I'm going to actually maybe pick up a little bit of white too and do a little bit of white in there. Let's do that. So I'll have a little bit of both. I cannot find my Distress Oxide anywhere up in this studio. I don't know where it's at. I've looked in all my bins. I don't know what I did with them, but I could really use it for this. All right, so it's kind of hard to tell, but it's just got lots of like distress into it. My ring light hides a lot of the like detail because it's so bright. So, okay, I want to add distressing on this too, but I'm going to do it a little bit darker. So I am going to use more black because the brown is already dark. So I'm just going to go back and forth on this. A lot of it's going to be covered up, but I'm still adding it in, because it will show through in those little holes. So, all right. And then when I put it on, you can see it from behind. So we'll have that on there. And it looks cute. Like a little basket. Looks like a little basket. Okay. All right, we need to work on some shading on these apples, because they look a little, they don't look that great. So I want to take my green and my what color is that? Yellow. I need to bring, I'm going to extend this. All right, and I want to make like a little line there and go around the edge with a little bit of brown. And I want to come up from the bottom to where like it shows like a little shadow, sort of. And I'll turn this around so you can kind of see, but I'm just trying to make my apple look less just flat, because I don't like just that little green blob in there. I want it to have like some shading on it and make it look like it's come to life a little bit. All right, so maybe you can see the difference. Maybe, I don't know. There we go. Yeah, that shows a little bit. It just has a little bit more texture to it. Okay, and that's what I want. So I'm going to do that for all of my, actually probably need to switch to like a tiny little brush to do this. That might be too small. Let's see. Let's see. This might work good. Yeah. So I'm going to take the brown and I'm going to go around the bottom of that and then go in on that. And I'm going to pull up where it's meeting these other apples and just make it look like there's a little shadow on it. Now, you don't have to be this detailed, but I'm just kind of showing you what you can do with it if you want to. You don't have to. You do you, boo. All right, so I'm going to come around and do the same thing on these. I'm going to use a little bit of brown at the base of the stem. And then I'm going to go around the edge and pull up a little brown from the bottom. It's almost like a dry brush because I don't want it to be really thick, okay? I just want like a really faint color in there to make my apples look a little bit more round. And if I put the lighter color in the center and then darker around the edge, it will give the illusion of it being light. And I can add a little highlight here and there, but I want to make my apples not be so flat, because that's what's going to give it that dimension and make it look more like a real apple. And I like to use my table to wipe off excess paint. So if you see me doing that, that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of wiping off my excess paint that way. And I'm using like orange and red in this one. Actually, I'm using yellow to make orange because I don't have orange on my palette, but and then I'm coming back and putting a little bit of white in my inside my apple. Okay. I'll turn it around so you can kind of see it. It's a little bit more blended than I want it to be, but just so you can kind of see the apples a little bit. They're kind of coming to life a little bit more, so. All right, then I need to do one more of this orangey colored apple. And with the yellow. And this one, because I mean, if you naturally think about like, you know, shadows, when I'm painting, I just always try to think about like, this would have a shadow. There would be a shadow there. And that makes it so much easier to get that look of, you know, what would technically be a realistic, more realistic looking shadow. So I'm coming along the bottom of this one and pulling up a little brown. And then this is more like that pinky kind of red, but it's actually like, it says it's more like a cherry color. That's the name of it, but we're using it for an apple just to give it a different shade. And I can even pull in like a little bit of the yellow in that if I wanted to. Because apples kind of have darker, there's some that are a little bit more red, some that are more like yellow undertones. So I can add all those little details in there. All right, and then we got one more. And then I'll be done with the apples finally. And granted, you don't have to do all this. You know, you can literally just paint them in and outline them, and they look just as cute. But I'm just showing you a different way to do it. Normally, I don't put a lot of detail into them, but it does make them look so much better. See how much more like alive they look? Yeah, alive, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if alive is the right word, but realistic. That's what I'm going for. All right, so and then I'm gonna do the same thing with my green on my leaves. I'm gonna add a little highlight on the top of the leaf. I'm gonna do a lighter shade of green on top, and then I'll do like a little bit of more brown on the bottom just to add a little bit of shadow. And then I can come back with even like a little hint of white on them. That's just to give it some dimension. Bring them to life. And then since my stems are so small, I'm going to use a white paint pen to do the like a little highlight on the stem, because there's no way that I will be able to get, and I'll probably end up going back and softening it just a little bit with a paintbrush, a tiny paintbrush, because it is that like kind of harsh white line doesn't match the vibe of the rest of the painting. Now if I was just, and I mean I may go back and add a little outline in it, and I can still do that, but I'm just using a really fine brush to add a little highlight on my stems. Okay, so there is like our apples. Look how pretty they look. Let's go ahead and glue this on because it needs to be setting up while we work on our bow, okay? So I'm just gonna add a little Gorilla Glue. You can use super glue. I have used, I've actually used like Elmer's like stick glue, like the purple like in a stick, because I didn't have my like Gorilla Glue here one time, so you can do that too. I think I want to go back over this with like a little bit of brown. I don't know. I feel like it needs like kind of to stripe a little bit like in the where like the places on the thing would be. Yeah, I like that better. All right, so let's take a paint. I'm gonna set this to the side, okay? So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. I'm gonna sit it to the side and work on the bow. I think it's dry, yeah. Let me put all these brushes in some water. I'm trying to do good. Let's see, I need a black. I could do navy. That actually would be really pretty, like a navy and white. Let's do that. Let's do navy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just add like some little stripes on the bow. So I'm gonna go in and just pretend that there's no detail on this bow. I'm just going in and doing stripes on it, okay? So I'm not focusing on the fact of like, oh, I need to add a little loop in there or whatever. I'm just doing the stripes on the bow. Like that. So it ends up having little stripes like that, okay? And then I'm gonna go around the edge with like a little bit of like a thinner sort of line. Okay. I'm actually gonna take a paintbrush and a little bit of like water, okay? And I'm gonna just take that and sort of, I don't know what it's gonna do because I haven't tried it before, but I'm just gonna use a damp brush and sort of smear these lines that I did with the paint pen, okay? It might be a train wreck, but it's actually kind of turned out pretty good. Better than I thought. And I'm not worried about making sure that they stay even, okay? Don't get caught up in that. I'm just trying to get... I'm just wanting it to look like a little cute striped bow. See, there we go. How cute is that? Thanks, Sherry. I thought they looked good too. Sure, yeah, you're welcome, Lisa. Yeah. I mean, and it's just, and I'll show it like a closer up picture when I get done, but the biggest thing is just like anywhere you want to create like depth, you want to do it darker, okay? And anywhere you want to create like it's towards you, do it lighter. And so if I wanted to create something to make it look round, if I wanted something to look round, I'm going to do this lighter and all this around here is going to be darker, okay? So it's just like if I want to lose my double chin, if I put a lot of contour underneath there, it'll take my double chin off. Okay, but I want to make like my bow have like some detail to it too. So, because here's the thing, like it looks fine like this, but, oh, that's a flippin' adorable. Stop it right now. I want to add like some brown in there, so I'm going to use a little bit of brown as sort of my a way to shade it versus using, and I'm using like a really tiny like little brush, okay? It's really tiny. It's got like 5 hairs in it, okay? Just a little tiny one. And I'm going to use the brown to give me, maybe even mix a little bit of black and brown together. I'm going to water it down to where it's almost like an ink consistency, because I want to make like a little loop at the bottom. So it looks like there's like a little loop in the bow. Now, you don't have to do this, but I just think it makes it look more like a real bow. And I'm just going to use the brown to add some, and I'll show you. Here, I'm using a little bit of water to thin this out to give me that look that I'm wanting. And I'll show it to you. I know it's kind of hard to see, like when you're painting on these little small pieces. I'm not wanting my bow to look dirty, but I do want it to have like a little bit of a shadow like underneath there. So that's just adding a little bit of brown to it. It's kind of hard to see. I might end up needing to make it a little bit darker, but I really didn't want to use black. But I feel like I need a little bit of black like where my loop is, to make that loop stand out a little bit more, because the loop kind of got lost with the blue. Yeah, okay, there we go. So I'm using a little bit of black, a little bit more than maybe I originally thought I would use, but it's helping me create that depth that I needed. So there we go. There's my little bow. See, I created these little loops right here in there. Hey, Gina. So there's our little bow. Hope you're having a good day. You working today? Okay. There we go. Yeah, I added a little bit more black there in the middle. Okie dokie. Let's see. Throw that in there so it doesn't go dry out on me. Listen, my mama fussed at me because I had so many dirty brushes. Like this. You see all that? That ain't even all of them because I done used some more. I got two cups back there full of paint water. You can see them right there. Right there. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's glue. Oh, I need to distress this up here. And you know what? I feel like it needs to be lighter. So, yeah. I need to go in with a little bit on the handle right there to make the handle a little bit distressed. Probably need a little more white. And I'm even going to pull a little bit on my edge of my stuff there. Yeah, I needed to do that to the handle. Probably could have made the handle a little bit lighter, but it's okay. It's cute. It's very, very cute. All right, so let's glue our bow on. Boop. Okay, bow. Well, you know what? I need to paint that little bit right there. Let's just add a little, I didn't quite cover where I needed to cover all. So I'm just gonna put a little paint right there. Nobody will know. Nobody's gonna know. Oh yeah, they are, because that looks weird. Dadgummit. There we go. Oh my goodness. How is this not the most cutest? Oh, it's gonna slide because it ain't dry yet. Hold on. This is the cutest little basket I've ever seen in my life. Look how cute that is. I love it. And then how cute would that be sitting on your table? Like, look at that. I mean, you can't really see it right there, but how cute is that? I love it. It's so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. And then, like, if you wanted to, like, you could take, let me get a thin paint, like a thin pen. Hold on. So, like, you know how the baskets have, like, the little, like, weave in them? That ain't even doing nothing. I need a little bit thicker one. So, like, I could take and do, like, they got, like, a little, so I can make them look like they're weaved, you know? So I can add a little bit of line work on there to give it the look, add these little lines. And then they also have, like, you know, they do like a little, have like a little, not a bolt, but it's like a little thing on there. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what it is. It ain't a bolt, but it's like a little fastener. So I can add that in too. I'm just adding some little lines on here. Why? Because it needed it, okay? It needed it. And I can actually come in here and do some lines on the apples. It's not going to take away from the realism. I don't think. I feel like my yeah, it needed that. It needed it. I'm just using a little pen, little paint pen. Okay. Oh, my bow is moving. There we go. Okay. So I just added some little lines on there. Just, it might be hard to see, but it just adds a little extra to it. Oh, yay, at least you're not working today. That's always good. Okay. I always like having a day off, you know. It's always good. And you get to do it with like have lunch with a friend. That's always good too. And now you can choose to like stain the back. I normally don't. I don't worry about it. That's just my preference. You know, nobody's really looking at the back, but you can. So if you want to grab a craft kit every month or you want the SVG, there's two ways you can do it. I'll upload the SVG for you to get it off the website. Once I tweak the file a little bit, there's a few things I need to fix on it that I noticed when I painted this one. I'll fix that, tweak up the file, and I will load it on the website, and you can grab it to cut your own if you have a laser. I will add it in the Art Girls membership if you're an art girl, and you will have access to the SVG file if you want to cut some for yourself, or you can get the craft kit each month. It's shipped right to your door, free shipping. Just type crafty2 in the comments. And if you're interested in being an art girl, type maker in the comments and it'll send you all the info. But how cute is that? Adorable, right? So cute. I love the blue bow. I almost went with black and white, but I'm glad I did that. I'm going to go put this on my counter in my kitchen right now because it just makes me smile, and it makes me want to go to the apple farm and pick apples and wear a cute little flannel shirt and stuff, but not today because it's too hot. But you know, when it's around that time to wear a flannel shirt, we'll do it. We will do it. So, glad you hung out with me today, and I'll see you next time, friend. Love you big. Have a good day. Bye.